There we go. I'm going to start scheduling our show every week, like how we did the last one. So we'll be able to share the schedule. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
We will. Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Bless you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another night of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. Wow, we are here. It's been a very busy weekend. It was.
Most deaf.
It's essentially Black Friday weekend.
Essentially.
Yeah. So we had a market scheduled. We've been talking about the market every single week. And then all of a sudden, well, not really all of a sudden, but the COVID guidelines came down. And then we had to do a quick, what everybody's calling pivot, which I think might be maybe what I called it at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So with this quick pivot, we had an online market. We did a home shopping network style of event. We had your favorite MC, Nigel the MC, really introducing the small businesses that the vendors that chose to participate and come in and have their things here. We sold, I think, just about $1,700 worth of people's things. So across, I guess, 10 vendors or so. So I guess about $200 a person. It doesn't sound so exciting when you break it down, but it was a good chance for people to meet the vendors, see vendors online. And actually, if you go to Afrodisiac Natural Shop, you'll be able to see those. It's in 3 different parts, but you'll be able to see that live stream. It was really cool. We had DJ Paige here, and she was on the ones and twos. Definitely, her music selection was A1. She was definitely went through different genres and ages and had a nice balanced mix of music.
Which, that's what you want when you're doing this type of show.
Yeah, absolutely. And that noise, which you might hear a couple times throughout the show, is actually a new cream from Afrodisiac. We're just infusing the oil right now, so it is in the machine, so that when I'm finished, I'm going to finish the second batch of this brand new cream that we have coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that is definitely what you want. Nigel Extraordinaire definitely kept the energy moving, which was 4 hours of high energy. I don't think your energy waned at all throughout that time.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, I know.
Well, with the help of a couple energy drinks and right at the,
That's right. There was Monster in the air.
Right at the beginning, I did some energy drinks. But it really is knowing the product, right? So knowing the product or finding out what products are there. So I made it a point to try and call a lot of the vendors and then meet as many as possible and have them explain their product. Yeah. Knowing what their product was about made it easy for me to kind of describe it to the people and to describe it to all you who are on there, the techions, the people who are in the Black Multiverse, the people who are in the city and the province. We had such a variety of well-curated vendors. It's unfortunate that we have these COVID restrictions, But we did something that was absolutely phenomenal. It did not. It literally transcended what anybody's ever done in Edmonton. I don't think anybody's really done that style. I call it the home shopping network style of broadcast. So we broadcast online. We did the live. Had so many people. We had a couple of things that a lot of people didn't realize. We had same day delivery. So you would order it online. You'd see us online. You'd order it. You'd order same day, and a man would come to the door and pick up your item and bring it to your house while we're still online. So there's so many people that are like, what? I got it.
I definitely considered how I could offer that as an ongoing service, because it was like a skip the dishes type of a thing.
It was definitely, Afrodisiac drive. It was like Afro Drive, and it was great because you could order it, look at it, order it, and get it today, especially if you're in the city. And you could also have it delivered by regular mail, or you can have it in a pickup option. But the pickup option, a lot of people weren't really digging the pickup option. Because of the fact that there's COVID and stuff like that and interacting with people. So it was better to have somebody just come masked up,
drop it at your door,
hand sanitized up, and just drop it at your door and be like, ding dong, here you go, bye. And you got your stuff.
What's that game called? Ding dong something or other?
Is that where you ring the door and run?
Right away, yeah.
When I was in Florida, years ago, this young guy, he probably was about 14, and he had this crush on this girl. He knew where she lived. And so he's like, I just want to go to the door and ring her doorbell and run. I was like, what? I was in my 20s, in my early 20s. I think I was 20.
You're like, how is this a thing?
I was like, what do you want to do? You want to go to her doorbell. You want me to drive to her doorbell.
Yeah,
ring the doorbell. Then you're going to run back to my car. I'm like, okay, cool. So I took him to the girl's place. I said, let's do it.
Okay, look at you.
I took him to the girl's place.
You're a supportive friend.
He walked up to the door. He rang the doorbell. And as he came back to the car, he drove off. And he's running back. He's running behind the car. He's like,
not such a supportive friend. This story did not go the way I thought it was.
Dying. And then her dad came out and was chasing him, and he was chasing me.
This story took a hard ride.
Then at the end of the block, I opened the door and he jumped in, and we both drove off. I was like, cut it out, man. So he was like, why would you do that? I'm like, man, I'm a grown man. Why would I ever ring a person's doorbell and run away? Like, why would I do that?
That's hilarious.
So that happened to me in Florida. But this weekend was great. We had a lot of things canceled. So even I was talking about soccer's canceled. A lot of the events that happened, those are canceled. So it is great to have something that we could do, and it was great to profile these great Black businesses. They're amazing.
The big, huge shout out to Karen and Bert, who came in. Karen, I got you right here.
You good?
Karen came in there. You can't hear it, but they can. Karen came in here because it'll echo. And asked 5 minutes before.
She was supposed to go on.
Before she was supposed to go on, was like, how much time do I have? I was like, 5 minutes. She's like, LOL. I was like, that's weird. Okay. So then we go to Karen and Bert, and we're like, Karen, can you hear us? Karen turns around. I was like, okay, this is part of the show. Look at you guys. You guys had a whole intro set up. I had a whole conclusion. Like, Bert had a whole rap. Oh, it was excellent. It was so good.
It was good.
Yeah, but they definitely helped to pull it through together. We do have people asking for us to do it again, like already.
Well, we have Christine online right now is asking if we can still order boxes.
So you guys can order boxes. I think probably up until, like, if you want to order tonight, you can still order tonight because we still have this stuff here. But people are coming to pick up their things. I can double check to see if they want to keep selling. We have only, I think, about 30 boxes left. We had 50, so we sold about 20 boxes or so. So, yeah, if you want to order tonight, early tomorrow morning, they're still up there. As soon as people start coming to pick up their things, I'll take the box option off of the website.
Which is amazing. Some of the vendors that were on, we had quite a few. There's quite a few. I can't name one without naming them all, and I can't remember some of the ones that were there. But I can name some of the artists that were on there, like Precious.
Yeah.
Precious had a has a very nice work of art here.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the $850 range,
Mm-hmm.
but
it was framed, though.
And it is framed and it is ready to go.
And it is one of a kind.
Yeah, ready to hang up. She is an amazing artist, up and coming. Well, not even up and coming. She's a well-known, renowned artist. Mm-hmm. So these articles of greatness that she brought to the market were just amazing, and so she was able to bring them to the market instead of having them in an art gallery or something, so that people have the opportunity to have these. And these are very fine art. They're very high quality. These are the type of art that you see in the movies, where they perform a whole heist movie, and just to get this type of art in their collection.
It's true.
This is where everybody's there. They got the table. They got
people,
the blueprints.
even our packers were like, "That's nice. How much is that?" Like, people were truly asking, especially people who buy art.
Yeah.
Your mom's on the line saying, "Good job, guys. Phenomenal" is Nigel's favorite word of the show. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
My mom is saying, "Good period, job period, guys."
Listen, stop it. I translated. Wow, leave her. I translated.
I like it. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
My aunties were on for the market, which was really good.
That's right.
To see my aunties on there supporting, and they liked a lot of the dresses and the outfits, and they thought it was really good. And like even Kaj had
purchased,
had their items online. The best part of what we did was we were able to get the actual vendors, even though they weren't in the actual studio.
Right.
They were
call in.
Yeah, they were able to call in, video call. You were able to see them, find out about them, and we want to support
local businesses. We
Absolutely. Want to support Black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We want to support small businesses.
True.
And most of these were very small businesses. They're up and coming, or they're working from home. You got to see their children running around in the background, so they have families. Mm-hmm. And it's really good to support Black-owned businesses in this holiday time instead of other businesses that you might go to.
Yeah, or Amazon even.
Yeah, you have the mall.
We have same-day delivery over here.
You have Bed Bath & Beyond that has been taking our money for years.
True. My friend calls it Bed Bath & Beyond taste.
Well, there you go. They've been taking money for years, and now we have these Black-owned businesses with better products, natural products, organic products.
Stuff that people want.
It was really good.
Greg wants to give a shout-out to the hand model. He said hand modeling is a thing now, but FYI, hand modeling has been a thing, Greg.
Yeah.
But big shout out to our hand model, Miss Janelle Austin. She was ready. It was like her dream come true. And then Christine wants to know if we would do it again. Would we?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
We just have to figure out when, I guess. But it was much like Now that we've done it, I'm like, oh, we could do this. In fact, I was actually thinking that I may do one after this weekend, like early next week, that just goes through all of the Afrodisiac products and uses that zoom, the camera that was like the close-up, the hand model camera, essentially, to be able to show the products, how emollient it is, and I can't show what it smells like, but I can describe it, talk about it, and while people are like actually seeing the products under this thing. So us doing it one time really made me like, we could do this and this and this. Everything opened up. I'm like, we can interview people. We can, like, now that we've kind of done the run through, you guys were there.
And those who are sorry to interrupt you.
It's all good.
Those of you who are tuning into the Black Multiverse Theory podcast, you know and have seen us. We've been here. This is our second season now in the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We'd like to invite you to our YouTube channel of the same name. Subscribe to that channel.
Subscribe, like, so that we can get
let us get famous. Let's go host those judos. Like let's
it's
get
so
it.
Funny. We were out here, and then Christine's like, I turned around, and big, huge ups to Christine Pinnock Garcia, and she is from Smooth by Sugar. That is her. She does sugaring, so I'm ready for her. So, in any case,
shout out to Liam.
Shout out to Big Liam.
Big Liam, what's up, bro?
And the rest, and his sisters, Maya and TT.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, so Christine's there. She's getting everybody on the line, lining up the next people who are going to be interviewing, making sure, because the program that we're using, the software, has a green room. I think this software has been great, actually. It took us a long time to like find a thing that worked, but I'm actually really happy with it. So also shout out to Ecamm. I don't do that very much, but it's definitely worked for us. It
is really boss, and it's given me ideas for other types of shows, concerts,
There's
different
so
things that we could do with it, which is really cool. Getting people to come online and kind of talk about their stuff and products.
It was awesome.
It gave us a professionalism that we might not have got with another program, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah. So Christine's there, and I'm like, hey, we could just like do this now. She's like, I know, right? I'm sitting here wondering why we do anything else. I was like, see, that's why you're my friend. Because it was so good. It was like, hey, wait a minute.
Wait, Courtney's in.
We could just do this. Hey, Courtney.
Courtney, what's up? I haven't seen you in a minute.
I knew. Good to see you. Yeah, so anyway.
Very interesting.
Thank you to everybody who stopped in.
True.
Thank you to everybody who bought things, bought boxes. Yeah.
Shout out to Darren Hall.
Greg's trying to get us to post Carrie West 2021.
I'm down. Like,
I'm here. I'm not opposed.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it. The funny thing about this was we learned how to do it, and our first time was smashing success. We can only get better from here.
It's true.
Honestly,
I was like, I'm actually good at this. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot more before Carrie.
Yeah, for sure.
By the time Carrie comes, we're gonna be professional.
We'll have the thing.
Yeah.
Quiet on set.
Yeah, and we'll have a bill.
A box of money they'll have to come with.
a briefcase of money. That's what they're gonna need.
So going back to what you were saying, shout out to Darren Hall, who was our
designated driver. He
definitely came through.
Came through with those deliveries.
It was so funny. We started at 1, and Greg, I'm about to put you on blast, so just be prepared. We started at 1, and Darren text messaged me, Darren Hall, and he's like, okay, sister, I'll be on the way. I'm just putting together a table right now. Which is not the thing that you expect people to say, like, hang on one second, I'm just. right? Putting together a table is not the thing that you expect to happen next. So I'm like, all right, man. As soon as he said he was putting together a table, I just assumed it would, whatever was happening would probably take a good 2 hours, right? So by that time, I'm not really expecting him to like 3-ish. So he comes in, truly like, what, maybe 4 o'clock? Scoops up a bunch of packages, and people were so excited to see him.
Yeah, they were really excited to see him.
Greg was like, "Are you sure he's going to show up?" I'm like, "Darren, yes,
Yes,
I am."
Yeah. If Darren,
there's a couple people that I'm like faux show, and Darren is definitely one of them.
Darren makes the cut. He's usually there before time, ready. He's there, hands on deck. That's what I love about that guy. And that's why, for me, Darren gets into most of my events for free.
Oh, no. Because he's there.
He's there.
Trust me.
He's there. It's like, Darren, you got the VIP,
he's so
bro.
good. Yeah. And he comes with presents. Every time I see Darren, he's like, here you go, sister. Now, okay, what is it you need me to do? I'm like, bro, you come with presents and ready
to work.
I tell you. Darren's people.
Christine handled a lot of the stuff very, very, very professionally. So shout out to her. It was really good. I gave her an iPad. I was like, here's your mobile command station. I gotta go. She was like, okay, cool.
Alicia got the order process down. Like, she was there getting orders to people. Shout out to Naya, Tanya,
Merlin.
Yeah, Merlin was like setting up the next person.
Dammy and the volunteer staff.
Dammy set up our volunteer staff. And Zita, your mama, Miss Zita, says that DJ Page was really good at the show. Yeah,
DJ Page had the one that do. She started up with scratching. I was like, what? I didn't know you could do it. All right. So she came through, and then she brought it in with, some oldies, and then just moved it right in. And I was like, okay.
You make me happy. Yeah, she did. She came with it. That's all I got, you guys.
This girl can blow right here. You hold up, but you have to pay. You
have to be getting your hair done.
You gotta pay. You gotta pay to hair it. That's all I'm saying. It costs money.
Yeah. And good job, Genesis.
Genesis did her
thing. AKA Hannah.
AKA Genesis.
The volunteers took a ton of photos and videos. And how about, like, the next day I got onto our IG and I was like, oh, damn. Like, there was, like, truly the social media part was just happening, which was amazing. I've had events where I finished and I was like, oh, we have nothing. I did not document that at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people really came through. I'm always amazed on the other side of these events.
I think the last person who I didn't say, first of all, Janelle, our hand model.
Yeah.
She did amazing. She came in. She's like, "What do you want me to do?" I was like, "Hand model." You were like hand model. Trying to throw me under the bus because I was like, I can do it. But she did a great job.
You did say that.
She put her
Dad was like,
on.
My hands are okay. I'm like, okay, but Janelle's hands are really nice. So
and basically what I wanted was, I didn't want your hands to be too nice. I wanted them to be rough and dry, like chips.
So you can see really what the product
Yeah, when I put the product on, if it's still dry, people will be like, that's not for me. But most people looked at it and was like, okay. And shout out to Tania.
Yeah.
Tania came through as well, like always.
Yeah, she did.
The crew was in live and large.
Yeah.
In effect, so
I have to say, my friends are like the most amazing people ever. Like, my friends are like ultra supportive. I know there's a lot of people who are like, they say a lot of things. I've heard women be like, I don't hang out with women because they tend to do this, that, or whatever. But to be honest with you, like, I have a high esteem and standard for the women in my life. So.
And speaking of friends, last but not least,
and also the mans.
True.
but also the women too.
True. Greg did an awesome job. He was supposed to be our marshal and resident Santa Claus, but
True.
because of COVID restrictions, we thought he'd be safer.
We probably should have just dressed him up and had him come in there
He
anyway.
could have came, man.
Truly, we missed the opportunity there.
We
But y'all, wait for the next one's gonna be a show.
Oh, it's gonna be fireworks, pyrotechnics, all sorts of stuff. It's gonna be crazy.
It is. We're gonna have different characters floating through. It'll be good.
And last but not least,
Greg said, "Ain't nobody want to see your crusty hands." Wow.
Everybody wanted to see their hands, bro. But Caitlin came the day before and helped out.
She did, definitely.
So yeah, shout out to Caitlin and all the vendors that came early, that were willing to come through, and give us a brief description of what they were bringing to the table. Some were, a lot of vendors didn't know what this was going to be like. This has never really been done in Edmonton like this.
I don't know how y'all keep trusting me. I'm like, okay, you guys, listen, I have an idea. And the people around me are like, all right, let's do it. And then right before the finish line, I'm like, oh God, what have I done? What have I done?
The funny thing about it is,
that's how it goes.
It is a journey every single time, but in the journey,
we learned so much.
We learned so much. We pulled it off, and it was great. And we definitely want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
This one's for Greg. Shout out to our sponsors, TD Bank, and also the Edmonton Community Foundation for all of the things that they've done so far.
Yeah, definitely TD. Thanks. Edmonton Community Foundation has really supported us, and not only this event but other events that we have coming up. They've invested in future things we have, so we're definitely really grateful to have them on. TD Bank, thanks. Also Payknife, which for those of us in the community is Garrett Prince and Jovica Prince's company, and they can get you, I believe, less than 2% per transaction. So if you are a small business, definitely thank you, and check out Payknife. Call Garrett and check them out. Just Paynive. They handle all of our processing here at Afrodisiac. So the machines are cool. They're like the new cute ones. They're not like the old, StarTech ones. So and there's all different like tiers, and it's really cheap actually. Also, Say It Loud is this national campaign that, well, you may have seen Greg and Sherelle talking about. If you go to sayitloud.ca, if you are a youth, I think it's under 25, I believe it is, you can go and check that out. There's a youth summit coming up, and there's different mentors in different categories, and I think like $10,000 or something.
I mean, you got to get that money as youth, right? So I might, my boys are trying to do some technology stuff and get their own YouTube channel going.
They need a Twitch.
So
I've been trying to tell my nephew to do that for years, bro. That guy would be a millionaire if he listened to me.
They started with their YouTube channel. They started. Yeah. It is, in the beginning stages, but it is what it is.
It's in the beginning. Everybody, can you tell us what they are? Oh, sorry, Greg. Yep, I don't want to be ageist. It's actually under 29.
Okay, yeah.
Can you let us know what their handles are so we can tell the people so they can follow them? Oh, and it's not 10K, it's 25K apparently. I am lowballing you guys in your
Wow. Oh, I forgot. Just remembered. Ronald. Thank you for coming out, Ronald. Ronald came out early.
Before anybody else was here. Literally.
Early, ready to do his thing. He's like, can I help with this? I was like, yes. Go ahead. Set up the table.
Yeah.
So it was good.
So big ups to Ronald as well. And thank you to our sponsors. Also big up to Bamyag. They had their web online market as well. Actually, it ran on Saturday, and I know a lot of people who said that they went digitally to that market. well.
Right. Yeah, and it was really good. It was really good to see that happen. So,
Their team is incredible.
yeah, the team is on point. So, yeah.
Let us move on to the scroll, shall we?
On to the scroll.
No, I felt like I almost had it.
You almost had it?
Yeah.
You backed out?
Your mom said next time CTV needs to broadcast the show. Actually, she said next time let CTV broadcast the show. Because we are not letting them do it now. That's true.
We'll see.
Yeah. CTV, if you're listening.
I have a number in mind. CTV.
Mm-hmm.
You come through and we can...
We'll see if our numbers match.
See if we can get these numbers to match up. So...
Moving on to the scroll.
First things first,
mm-hmm.
in the scroll, we have finally died down from the Trump-Biden.
Yeah, people are just ignoring Trump now. He's still flailing, but they're just
he's doing a lot of things, but people are like
fully ignoring him.
Okay. Even his own people are like,
okay, buddy.
Why are you thinking to do this for?
Truly.
It's like that child that's like crying and screaming, and their parents are just ignoring them at the grocery store.
I mean,
how long are you gonna let that person they just walk away to the next aisle? Whose child is this? Okay, I'm leaving.
That's how you're supposed to stop a tantruming child. But the thing about this is real parenting advice for those of you, because you may not know this, but I'm a professional level parent.
Wow, me too, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're a professional in quantity. I'm a professional in time. I've got the time in.
Well, you gotta add up all the time.
Yes, if we add up your time, you have more time collectively right now than I ever will.
There you go.
So,
Go ahead.
This is true. So kids, they'll tantrum and they'll escalate before they boil down. So
yeah, children are escalators. When we had young babies, they would do this, and it was just a matter of you either paid a lot of attention to it, or you just ignored it for a while, and they get louder and louder and louder, and then they realize nobody really is listening to me anymore. And it takes a while.
And they also get tired. They usually tire themselves out. Like, I've seen a kid throw themselves down until they vomit, and then like okay, let's clean you up.
Okay. But when I was a child, it was beaten. So
Lash.
There's a lot of difference between how parenting is done now.
But before we went on, CNN was investigating some cash for presidential pardon scheme that just came up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's like wires, recordings, I guess.
Okay.
And some wire transfers and stuff that suggest that Donald Trump and the Trump administration took money for presidential pardons that were issued.
No. Not good.
This is true. But surprising? No. When they like find out this stuff happened, I'm like, yeah. How was it supposed to work? Why would you have that? Anyway.
Okay.
So that's happening on the Trump thing. But Biden's already doing that typical establishment Democrat stuff and being like, oh, he doesn't want to, he's going to pardon Donald Trump. Which everybody's like, that's bullshit.
All the time.
Yeah, so... But that is what they do. They pardon each other, and so it has been. So it's always been. So he's like, okay, back to business as usual. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was like, lock her up.
Yeah, he did do that.
Everybody just wanted to apply the Trump stuff to Trump himself. But then the next guy came in and was like, no, we're not doing that stuff. And now everybody's like, this guy. But apparently Joe has like the most black people and the most women, I think.
Okay. That's a start.
Maybe not black people. Let me take that away. but Whitwood for sure.
That's a start.
It's something.
Having that.
I'm not like. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm just tooting horns, but I'm not. I'm like, sure. It's 2020. Like, people be like, "Wow, that's a monumental amount." Meanwhile, 50% are still white, hetero, wasp males. Like, okay. But because 50% are quote unquote other, there's like one of this, one of that, one of this, two of those, one of that. They're like, this is a diverse cabinet. I want to see a diverse cabinet where there's just as many white men as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's a diverse cabinet.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of international politics, there's this politician in Hungary who is an anti-homosexual politician, and I guess campaigns on this, or it's part of his shtick, his Polish shtick. And apparently, there was a raid on an orgy, an all-male orgy. It was 25 men, and he got caught trying to get out the window. Of all things, like the fact that the headline was like "gets caught trying to escape through window" is my favorite part. I was like, oh wow, they just put your stuff out here. So yes, that's the thing that happened. Naturally, he had to resign, but also the part of the issue is that he was breaking curfew. There was lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I guess he's not getting voted for next time.
Maybe. I mean, maybe he just has to wait a couple years to let it clear and then get back in there. There was 25 other people there, so.
Were they politicians? Were they anti-gay politicians?
Who knows who they were? But they vote for him, obviously.
Well, anti-gay. If you're an anti-gay politician,
I guess
then
they're not voting for him.
The people who voted you in are also voting you in for that as well.
Being anti-gay?
Sure.
I just thought they were the other dudes at the sex party. That voted for him. Yeah, he's in there in his glass closet throwing stones apparently. Okay, what you got?
Well, Tiffany Haddish. Well, first of all, we have to acknowledge Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Hello to everybody out there.
Also, Indigenous Peoples Day, which I think is Friday now.
Sure. Yeah. So with with Thanksgiving happening, there were a lot of people doing different celebrations. Tiffany Haddish was over at Sunset Boulevard with Craig Robinson. If you don't know who Craig Robinson is Doug Judy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mm-hmm.
He's also been in Hot Tub Time Machine and
which
few
was
other
a better
movies.
movie than I expected, honestly.
It was funny. It was definitely funny, and he's the reason why it's very funny.
It's hilarious.
And those of you who don't know Tiffany Haddish, she just got voted in as I think Female Actress of the Year.
Oh wow, really? Okay,
yeah.
Wow.
And so she was out there singing Tina Turner.
I had heard it. She wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, she came in there.
Not so bad.
And she was singing on Sunset Boulevard there, having a great time.
Yeah.
With that.
He's hilarious. Daryl.
Very, very much.
We call him Daryl. From The Office.
His name is Daryl from The Office as well. Doug Judy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah. But his real name is Craig Robinson. His actual name is very similar to these characters' names too.
Truly.
Which is funny to me.
Yeah.
But he's hilarious. He plays the piano. He's a phenomenal singer. So they were out there giving back, and they were actually bringing people to the comedy of the Laugh Factory, I think it is, there. And it's comedy clubs.
I'm doing comedy show.
They're bringing it.
Nice.
Also, Kevin Hart had his special, which got terrible reviews.
Terrible. Everybody I know, like, there's memes about how bad it was.
Very, very, very bad.
The piece that I watched was funny, but I must say that I believe it was the trailer. And so typically the trailer is the funniest part anyway.
To be honest, I have not watched the entire
Trailer.
show.
Yeah.
So I don't know how funny it was, and I don't like to take other people's view on comedy because I personally don't find funny what a lot of people find funny, and vice versa. So I like to watch it and laugh at the stuff and be like, it wasn't that bad, or oh yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So that's one show. In that aspect as well, Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah, he has a thing out.
He has a show, but it's not a comedy show. It's him just talking, and he goes on and he says, "Hey, listen, can you please not watch Dave Chappelle show on
and then
Netflix?"
Netflix went ahead and pulled it.
Yeah, Netflix was like, "Okay, man, you brought us enough money. Come." And they took it off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he had turned down $50 million and then went to Africa. But what happened was he went for the $50 million. He signed for it, turned it down, but then walked out on his third season.
Yeah.
Midway through, breaching his contract.
His original contract.
And so now he has no rights to the Chappelle show.
Right.
And
plus, I think that the deal he signed was probably bum anyway. Like,
for sure. So that is online right now. You could actually go see that. It's a good show.
I feel like we should move on to the scroll. Do you have any, or into the screen?
We're getting there. We're getting to the screen.
I don't want to push it.
Yeah, because there's a few things on the screen. We got quite a few things on the screen, so we can get there. I think for me, one of the last things that's supposed to go. Well, it's actually part of the screen, but it's also part of the scroll.
That's what I'm thinking. We should just go onto the screen because I think it's a lot of screen stuff. Okay. Do you want to go back?
That's fine.
I'm trying to think of what else. Well, like, what do we have? Is it a tough news week?
No.
What's going on in the news?
Well, in the news, there wasn't a lot of tough stuff that happened in the news.
Okay.
We had a few people die, but that happens
every week.
Every week.
Keeps happening.
The COVID rates are
skyrocketing.
They're still where they are. With the children being home, those junior high children are now home, and high school, they are now home. And then you have all your elementary children. So that's one thing I don't think we talked about is Jason Kenney's.
We did. We talked last week.
Right.
Because it was right before we went on.
So yeah, so Jason Kenney's
measures went into place.
Measures had gone into place. So
this week.
Now we're seeing the full aspect of what's happening with Jason Kenney. This Monday was PD day for a lot of the children, so they were home. But they were going stir crazy. There were different things that were supposed to happen, like soccer and tobogganing and all sorts of stuff. So that's it.
They're like, this sucks.
It really sucks.
But you know what else sucks? COVID-19.
It should have. And so that's why I'm not really pushing too hard about it sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks to have COVID. And I know this firsthand. So, yeah, I rather the children be safe and bored and playing on their social media and their different computers and TVs or reading a good book or sleeping than sick and dying.
Also, correct.
Shout out to Sister Charles and Brother Charles and the Bethel Apostolic Church, Stony Plain family for the Roti Gang. It
was so good.
Sister Charles opened up what we affectionately call the Royal Roti Palace, where she had beef, chicken, and goat roti for $10, and you could get the skins for $3. We did it 1 week only to see if we can hit that $1,000 mark, and man,
did you have a number?
I don't have a number yet.
Everybody wants to know how much you made.
But it's getting really close to where we want it to be. Now, we are going to do it again. A lot of people went in and bought their roti and got their roti. It was delicious.
Yeah. My daughter said it slapped.
Wait,
So that's what the
when
children
it
said.
when it slaps, it slaps.
She
You know?
said that roti slapped.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, Nilo bites into the roti, and she's like, "Wow, this roti. Somebody really knows how to use
A pressure cooker.
a slow cooker."
It's a pressure.
We laugh. I laugh. I told
You do.
Pastor Rod.
Oh,
But
he laughed.
yeah,
Did
he laughed. He said slow cook. She's slow
I
cooking. He said
Pressure.
she pressure cooks it with love. That's what he does. There's no pressure cook. There's just
Apparently low and slow.
yeah, and she
Nice.
does it, and it was really nice. The meat was so tender. In fact, just before I went on air, I ate my roti, my last one. Delicious, delicious. For what?
Delicioso. I ate only goat roti as long as there was goat roti to be eaten.
I had only beef, and it was great. Fantastic job.
So let's go on to the screen.
We're gonna do it again in 2 weeks. So please look on social media, look on Facebook. We have a Google form. The Google form it helps us to organize and make sure that we can get you the roti in a reasonable time and cater to you. So
one of the things we have to change about the Google form, people are saying, is they need to be able to put how much, because once they respond, they can't respond again.
Yeah. So there's a
little tweakies that we have to change.
The tweak we have to change is you can't select more than one kind of roti.
Okay.
You can do 80 beef, 80 chicken, but you can't do 40 beef, 40 chicken.
Okay.
Right. So
you need to have your beef drop down, your chicken drop down, and your goat drop down.
Yeah, that's the change to the new form. So the new form will be up hopefully on Monday coming, and then you will be able to order your roti again. This will probably be the last one before Christmas.
Hold on, this just in. Rothschild says some people are asking for roti monthly subscriptions, and just in case you guys decide to have a roti box, please include me with that. I will take a monthly roti box.
We might do a roti box.
Yeah, you get your triple 3 different kinds of roti and some skins and a.
We'll call it a roti chest.
Okay, I like it.
So you can, it's a royal chest that you can get your golden. Well, we'll even wrap it and then put a gold foil ribbon around it for you. So it's good. So a lot of people went through. So it is amazing. So shout outs to the BACSP family. So on to the screen. Fantastic.
I did okay that time?
That was good. That was a perfect marmot.
A flat. Oh. All right.
Here we go.
What you watching?
On the screen, we have so many things that are on the screen. I personally am watching another Star Trek. All the Star Treks are on Netflix, and you have seasons and seasons and seasons. So I decided to go to Enterprise, the most hated of all the Star Treks, and start watching that one from beginning to end and see why it was terrible. And we realized the title sequence song.
It's been a long road.
it's really.
It's a title sequence.
But once you hear it over and over and over and over,
that's my job.
It's like,
oh, okay. Well, I was watching. I was like, this is the title sequence? It must be, because I know all the words. Is this a real song, or do I just know these words? But apparently I just know the words. It's the guy from not JAG, not CSI, F-Files. What's it called? Forensic Files. Yeah, so he's there being Captain Archer. And then there's T'Pol.
Yeah.
Our resident Vulcan.
Yeah.
And then there is Phlox, our doctor.
Medical chief.
And then there is Travis Mayweather, who be in sickbay every single episode.
Travis Mayweather is the black guy on the show. And he's a pilot. He flies the ship, and he does, whenever a pilot is requested for a shuttle mission, he's the pilot requested, and
Right.
he just drives.
He's apparently excellent.
He drives the people down, and he drives them back up.
It's true.
That's what he does.
Is that what he does?
Last time he went down, he didn't even come out of the shuttle. I went straight back up into the sick bay. we counted.
Oh
We counted how many times he went into sick bay. He was in there for a headache.
Sometimes he's in there for random stuff. Like
He's
sometimes Flox is like
"My
about
head
to
is
talk to
hurting."
somebody, and he's there, and I'm like, and he's like, "Hey, stay away from Mongolian whatever," he says. I'm like, "Is that Travis again?"
Yeah.
Damn, that guy really be up in the
Travis
sick
is
bay.
in there in sick bay, just having random conversations with Dr. Flox. And then he was in there for a broken leg, and then he went into anaphylaxis. And then there was
that was because he broke his leg, and then they gave him something for the pain.
For the pain,
and because his
he was allergic to it.
Yeah, because of his physiology. But hilariously, they've never seen a human before, so they were like, "Here's this."
This is what we take.
And then he ended
He's
up.
like, I don't feel so good.
Then he ended up going into anaphylaxis.
And then there was the time that he went on shore leave with everybody else while the ship was getting fixed.
Yeah,
And then they kidnapped him and put
that
him.
happened also.
And they put him in this machine that takes your neurons from your brain.
And they put
I was like, Travis, you are always in sick bay.
and then they planted a version of his body. And the irony is, the way that they figured out, dang, that thing just beeps forever.
Okay.
It should stop.
It will stop. Okay.
Yeah. We're almost done anyway. But the guy was like, there it is. Okay. So Flox is like, no, this can't be really Mayweather. Because remember, I inoculated him for XYZ. Like, the way they even figured out that it was a facsimile of him was checking his blood for, like, some crazy inoculation.
They're like, look, these are normally thrive on proto-electrons. And I was like, okay.
All right.
He went in for a headache, and the doctor almost lobotomized him. I was like, oh, Travis, stay out
bro.
of
He's like, not during my shift.
Get out of there, bruh.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the funny. The one black guy on this show is constantly in sick bay. It's the greatest part.
Yeah.
For me. So there's that show. We're getting deep into Star Trek Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Discovery is moving into time and temporal order.
Correct.
So, which also, if you go to Enterprise, it's all about the temporal order. So it's really interesting to watch these two happen. One is taking place in 2100, so that's only 100 years from now.
Literally,
we're supposed to be at
2151.
Yeah, we're supposed to be at warp speed with Captain Archer at the helm.
And honestly, if you watch Enterprise, we have a lot of that stuff. And the stuff that makes, like, if you watch The Next Generation or whatever, the stuff that makes The Next Generation, most of it is alien technology anyway. Like, the replicator was alien technology. Personal transporters, Klingon Bin had that.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, nobody touches the Romulans
with weapons, like photon torpedoes. We have
the Romulans
temporal
have the
sensor.
best ships.
Their tricorder is right now is only 3 different types of scanners. They're going to put it together later to become a tricorder.
Yeah, it's 3 separate things.
But then you look at Discovery. Discovery's
it's essentially ghetto.
Discovery's like I think 23.
So Discovery's 200 years later.
Yeah, I think it's like 2340 or 50 that's taking place.
Yeah.
So watching that is great because they implement a lot of the technology from the past into the future.
There, yeah. And then when Discovery goes to the future, which is now, they're in like the 3000s or whatever.
Yeah, they're 900 years in the future now.
So now they have like personal transporters and they have
holographic sensor displays.
They actually have a bunch of new tech that is exciting.
Bunch. So they got in their first firefight in that and nearly blew up the whole ship because they didn't have a proper shield.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have that. We're also watching his Dark Materials. So his Dark Materials is another show. It is from the Golden Compass.
We talked about this.
And so his Dark Materials, the
ongoing.
new season is on. The new episode is on. So watch that.
They're also dripping that to us one episode
at a time. So it's just like,
I get it though. At some point, they're like, "Yo, how much TV can we make for people to consume?" Like the consumption, yeah.
So like, because we'll watch it all
right now.
We'll consume it all
right now.
2 days. We'll stay home from work. We'll just be like watching it, eating cookies.
It's a shutdown.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
What else?
We have
the new one, The Undoing.
The Undoing
on HBO, which
with
is just
Nicole Kidman,
which is people's mess,
and Hugh Grant. And it's really messy. It's really messy. It's about murder. So it is taking place about, it's a torrid affair that happens, and it's the slow undoing of multiple things that are being undone at the same time. First,
Rogers loving The Mandalorian, but we'll get there.
The Mandalorian, I was going to talk about the new episode we haven't seen yet.
No.
So that's something that we'll go.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do them 2 episodes at a time. But
because they're only like 30 minutes.
They're really
so short.
They're so short, man. And you always, it's like having half a roti.
I think
it's
next,
just not enough.
It's not enough. I think next season, I'm just gonna wait and binge the whole season. Yeah.
I mean, that's what Rod did last season.
Yeah, Sanaya just did that too.
So binged the whole first season and was like, so now when The Mandalorian comes on, it's like, more please, more please, a little more. And
it's about some more.
It's about more, please.
Every week.
Yeah, every week. It's like, yeah, this is what you got. So Mandalorian is there. So The Undoing is really messy.
It's messy with people stuff.
Murder.
That's really why I watch that stuff. Like, I don't like to watch like trauma porn anymore.
Sure. So there's that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. And then to the main event.
What?
Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. this week.
I forgot about that.
They have 4 undercards. Right? It's undercard?
Yeah, undercards.
That fought before Mike Tyson.
I don't have my phone here, but I was literally like live texting as it was going. Shout out to Barrington Simpson.
Yeah.
Who was like, yo, keep me posted. And I promised I was like live texting him as it was going. I'm like, it's okay. It was excellent. Roy Jones Jr. fought like, we're not going to make fun of Nate.
No, but let me tell you something.
Are we going to go back to
what's his last name?
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson. I'm going to talk about Nate Robinson.
Greg said he's still asleep.
Nate Robinson went in there. You had a whole bunch of cards that were on there. Nate Robinson came in, and he was up against this guy. It looked like, from what he was wearing, it looked like it was a remake of Apollo Creed versus Dolph Lundgren in Rocky. And he came in there, and my man came in, gave him a couple knuckles, bomb. He hit him with the 1-2, Skinnamarink do. There's a boom, boom, bing, and he hit him, and he hit the canvas, flaps, and he hit it so hard that he looked like he was fast asleep. There are so many memes about him sleeping. I just saw a mattress advertisement, $500 off mattress, with Nate sleeping on the mattress. So Nate is still asleep. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. He is, and for those of you who don't know him, he is a former basketball player. Mm-hmm. I believe for the Clippers.
Oh.
So, I don't know if he's still playing basketball. He might still be playing basketball, and he decided to try this boxing thing.
I don't know.
He looked at his contract. He's like, "Oh, I could do boxing."
Ooh.
He's like, "Okay." And then
how much did he get punched in the face?
Bing! When he got hit, he got hit and his arms folded like this. I've seen a lot of knockouts, and when your arms go like this and they're stuck in this position, you can't even stop yourself from like hitting the ground. Your arms just stop like this, and bang! And his eyes were open as he hit the ground. He said, "Click." Oh, it's the Knicks. Sorry, it's the Knicks. Thank you, Greg. It's not the Clippers. It's the Knicks. So,
but
sorry, Nate. Night, Nate.
For me, the one that I loved was the Mike Tyson,
Roy Jones
Jr. There was a lot of jokes. Snoop was like, "This looked like my two uncles fighting at the barbecue. Now I'm gonna have to break this up." Snoop, for some reason, was on there. I did hear because we were actually getting ready for the market, so we didn't get to. There's parts of it that I didn't get to see. So I didn't get to see any of the performances, which I heard were terrible. But I heard that Snoop's performance pulled it out.
French Montana, and there's another guy. And those were terrible performances. But the one with Snoop came out. He did his thing. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to say, "Yo, well, finally we've merged hip hop and boxing." He's like, "Yo, we've been doing this
always
for a while."
Been like this. Like every boxer has had a rap album as long as I can remember.
Roy Jones comes out with his own track.
Yeah, to his own track
that he recorded in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson comes back with his own track
also,
which is funny. They both come out. His shorts, he's in like the original shorts. It looked like the shorts he wore when he first came out. Mm-hmm. The black short, the black short boxer shorts.
Mm-hmm. He looked good. He was pretty chiseled, Mike. Like he was like, his body was like pretty in shape. Roy Jones seemed a little bit rounded at the edges to me.
Yeah. And we've seen Roy in top form.
I did not think Roy Jones was going to last through the first round. I certainly didn't think he was going to last all 8.
It was Wiz Khalifa. That's what it was. Greg said it was okay, but who knows? The internet is disagreeing with you.
To be honest with you, it wasn't good enough to make anybody's, like, nobody is talking about that.
Yeah, so they're like, Wiz Khalifa's good. No, nobody's saying that. So, in the ring, I had placed my thought process, my prediction was that it was going to go maybe 6 rounds. And it was
in 1 round.
I think it was in the 6th round because they weren't doing it like Mike Tyson's not licensed anymore to fight.
Oh, it's just an exhibition.
It was an exhibition round. So I feel like for contract purposes, they're going to do it for the contract and then walk away with a ton of money. And they did. Mike Tyson made $10 million on it. Roy Jones Jr. made $3 million on that. And when you went up to the fight, you went on each guy's social media. What you saw in their social media was Mike Tyson was talking about fighting. You saw him training. You saw him skipping. You saw him sparring. And then you saw Roy Jones Jr. selling. He was selling his gloves. He was selling his boxing mat. He was selling his car, Kijiji. He was like, "Hey, the Russians, listen, Russians, we are in an election time. Go out and vote so you can make a change in Russia."
I learned that Roy Jones Jr. is a citizen of Russia. He moved there and now lives there, and he's a citizen. So when he's doing all that stuff, my Russian people,
my Russian peeps,
is truly where he's living.
I think the one thing that's funny to me is a lot of people make fun of Mike Tyson and how Mike Tyson talks. He does have a little bit of a lisp when he talks, and he does talk with his tongue a lot. But it is Roy Jones Jr. that gets me when he talks because he's got to hit a lot of things. He's like, we got to do the thing with the thing and the thing and the thing. And you're like,
that's what it sounds like to you.
Yeah, he's like, man. He was talking about getting hit. He's like, I got hit. He's like, what do you think about a draw? How do you feel about a draw, Roy? Roy's like, I never draw. I wear draws. I never.
I don't do draws.
I don't do draws.
I wear draws.
I wear draws. And then 3 minutes later, he's like,
3 minutes.
I
It's like
can do
30
draws.
seconds. He segued from saying that to be like, you know, when Mike Tyson hits you, no matter where he hits you, everything hurts.
Everything hurts.
I could do a draw.
He got hit so many times
like,
right on the belt sash. Like, it was right on that belt sash.
He was trying so hard
go.
to push. He was in pain. My boy was in pain.
Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. Didn't he fight Lennox already?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. I mean, I saw. I mean, if he went up against Lennox Lewis,
I'm not out here trying to watch Mike Tyson fight on a regular basis. To be honest with you, like that man gave us as much as he can give us.
he gave us
For us, for him to be in this stage of his life and able to form complete sentences, let him go. Like the fact that he still has use of all his faculties and his arms and his legs, like let that 100. Man live. I do not 100%. Need to see him. Next thing you know, he has Alzheimer's in 2 years because he's doing these
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's is the one.
Yeah, and when you watch the fight, when I was watching the fight, the hits that were connecting, like Roy Jones did this no look hit Mike Tyson right on the mouth, and when Mike got that hit on the mouth, he went after Roy. Like he was like,
he got mad for a second.
Yeah, for a second he forgot this is an exhibition round. He's like, I'm gonna knock him out. Like he was ready to knock him out. And there was one where he, right in the first area, they were fighting and he was getting into it. And he got a little out of hand, and the bell rang, and he hit him clear after the bell. The bag was like ding ding, and Mike Tyson was like boom and hit him.
And then he hugged him.
And then he went and he hugged him. He's like, I'm so sorry. He hugged his head. And he was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but every one of those hits that Mike put on Roy Jones, Roy hit him in the face. It didn't seem to faze Mike at all.
The thing is, Mike really does have an iron fist and iron jaw, and Roy really does have a glass jaw. So, to be honest with you, my biggest critique/criticism is that Roy Jones was holding too much, and the ref didn't stop it. He allowed it.
Yeah.
So I felt like
there was so much hugging, but if he never hugged Mike Tyson, he would have died.
Lost.
He would have died out there. Mike was like, oh, so you stopping me from punching you in the face?
I'll just punch you in the body.
I'm gonna punch everywhere else. His back, his kidneys.
Yeah.
My man was pulling down his shorts.
He was in pain.
It was so sore. He was standing with his gloves on.
He was in real pain.
He's like, everything hurts.
It does.
When Mike hits you, he hit you hard. You know, everything hurt. It hurts. Mike's like, yeah, he hit me, and it hurt too. But you know what? I'm gonna still go because I'm here saving lives. That's what I'm into now. That's what I'm into. And I was like, okay, Mike.
No, because they asked him. They were like, if you got a license, would you do this? He's like, no, absolutely not. He's like, I'm into helping people. That's why we're out here. We're out here helping people.
He wants to do it again, but he wants to do it only if he's going to be helping somebody else, which I totally get.
Yeah.
And so it was a really good fight. And it was really good to watch. It went on.
I don't need to see Mike Tyson fight anymore. I don't want him to.
9:30, 10 o'clock.
I feel like we need to just elevate him and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing good. He was doing good. We have what's his name, Deontay Wilder. Mm-hmm. Very entertaining to watch. We have all the MMA fights that we can watch too. Mm-hmm. So all these new up and coming.
I don't really mess with MMA like that. It just never connected with me.
All the new up and comers, I always like to see, because they always do this thing where they come in nice and close. They bring the boxers so close, and then they make touch his head, like rest your head onto his connect forehead, and then all of a sudden one of them pushes the other. There's a fight. And you're like, oh, this is gonna be good, but it's all
connect foreheads.
You got to see how many times this happens.
I see it's close, but I don't.
No, they actually touch foreheads,
and then somebody gets.
And then somebody pushes. Right? It's weird.
Get away from me!
It's like get off me now! And it's what? Or one guy, he offered a fruit. He had a fruit, and he was like, "Here, you want fruit?" And the guy boxed the fruit in his hand. Another guy came in smoking a cigarette. He boxed a cigarette. They just do this theatrics. It's what it is.
All right, what are you listening to? Let's move on to In Your Ears.
Mm-hmm. I'm still on that Johnny Deppish album, cute.
Nice.
Very awesome album. He really is good. He's on 102.3 right now. Good friend of ours, saxophone player. I'm still listening to that. And I'm hitting up some of the oldies. Mariah Carey has, Christmas time.
Season.
And Mariah Carey's sales are going
Happy
all
Mariah
the
Carey,
way up.
everybody.
Yeah, she's going all the way up. Merry Christmas, the MC.
MC?
And Merry Christmas is
Mariah
also
Carey.
Mariah Carey.
Truly.
So there it is. When she comes up and
it's her time of the year.
Yeah.
It's true.
She's like,
I'm listening to Body Yaddy 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 Yaddy.
Which is the new Meg. The new Meg.
New Meg Thee Stallion. Body Yaddy 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 Yaddy.
Well, Meg dropped one right before Christmas, so you could Body Yaddy. Which is good.
All right, do you have a word for this week?
I do have a word for this week.
Awesome.
One of the things that we realized this week is that a lot of preparation and a lot of planning is not always going to go the way that you plan it. There are people, when dealing with people, you are dealing with separate entities that are moving in different orbits around different places. And so it is important to be able to roll with the punches, to be able to pivot with each thing that happens. Because not everything you do and plan is going to work the way you want it to. But if you're persistent and you're consistent, you will be able to make your way through and get the thing done. This market that we did this week had a bunch of people canceling, a bunch of things thrown at us, obstacles that we had to face. And a lot of people look at us and they're like, well, how did you get this done? It seemed flawless. Some people are like, it seemed flawless. It seemed like nothing was,
There's
happening.
No way it could have seemed flawless.
No,
but I appreciate it.
A lot of people watching online, didn't know all the things that, we had this many vendors, and then we had almost all of those vendors not want to come, and then we had to call most of the vendors to come back and have to explain the new pivot that we're moving. But the direction that we were moving in, when people believe in you and they believe in the products and they believe that you are looking for their best interest, it really worked out well in the end. So you have to limit your frustrations and focus that energy into the new move. If you're going to have to pivot the way that you have to pivot, make it quick, make moves, and go. In plumbing, one of the things is it's okay to make mistakes, just fix them quick. The quicker you fix them, people don't even realize you've made a mistake.
It's going to happen.
But it's going to happen from time to time. You're going to cut the wrong line. You're gonna not have everything work the way you want it to. And now with Christmas coming up, a lot of people are doing desperate moves to make sure they have gifts, to make sure they have money when they have time off, to try and make sure they don't have COVID when going to visit family, making sure family members don't have COVID. And we're in a really strange time where COVID is going to affect people and separate family members from seeing each other, which causes other things. In this darkness where the sun goes down really, really early.
It literally comes up and goes down at the same time.
It comes out. You don't get a lot of sunlight, so we're not getting a lot of vitamin D. And so we're getting into a state of depression for a lot of people because you're not getting the sunshine. In these states, these are the times when you're going to have to dig deep and hunker down and grab into those things that make it better for you. If you don't have Marby, you don't have sorrow, and you're missing home, make some sorrow. Figure out how to make some sorrow. Look online. Make your own happiness by the things that you can dig down and dig into and get to. It is hard. And it's not easy. I'm not saying this because it is easy, but I am saying that it is possible. And with possibility, you can come to a point of perfection. And so that's the word.
Christina said, consistently persistent and persistently consistent. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this another week of the Black Multiverse Theory Podcast. Find us on YouTube, like us, so that because YouTube has like certain goals you have to hit in order to like do it the way we want to do it. So
And
go
all
on-
of our episodes go to
on
YouTube.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.